Does this feel good? Ready for more? All right, so remember, same as yesterday, we're going to get our blood flowing a little bit first, and then we're going to do some joint mobility, and then get into some warm-up going into our Olympic lifting. So today we're going to learn something called the snatch, which is one of our Olympic lifts. So maybe you know that, maybe you don't, but we'll talk about how we take this movement. It is the hardest barbell movement that exists. All right, you guys are going to do it on your second day or first day. Right, so the movement we're doing today is called a snatch, okay? So if you've never seen it, I'll just give you a quick demo. Imagine this is a barbell sitting on the floor with some weights on it, so it's about this high, all right? Has this wide grip. You set your body up, catch it overhead, and then stand, okay? So that's an Olympic lift called the snatch. There's another Olympic lift we're going to learn more people have seen before, the clean and jerk, right? Similar concept. Okay? The idea here is the first one is a single movement, picking a weight up from the ground to overhead. The other one is two movements, ground to overhead. Similar concepts, okay? The snatch we teach is, we do it for a couple reasons. It's really challenging, right? So it embodies our idea of fitness. It's not just about being strong, but you have to be coordinated and mobile and strong and fast and powerful, all in a single movement. But right off the bat, this position that we catch the bar in is challenging for most adults, even with just a PVC pipe. Okay, so working to get this open shoulder, good deep squat position, that's a big challenge for a lot of people right off the bat. Okay, so we're going to mobilize to open that up to start. We're going to start off with something called a dislocate with our PVC pipe. So I want you to grab your PVC pipe, grab it nice and wide. Okay, and I want you to keep your belly tight. We're going to shrug up. And then keeping your elbows locked and straight, come all the way over to the back. All right? If it felt really tight, like you had to bend your elbows, all right, go a little bit wider. And then we're going to try to come back the same way. Big shrug up. Okay? Let's do that 9 more times. So shrug, over, belly tight, and back. Try not to let your elbows bend though, all right? So you got to really focus on straight arms, shrug up and over, belly tight. Just 10 total reps. You can find that sweet spot. Moving your hands wider makes it a little easier. Narrower makes it a little bit harder. So we got our shoulder. That's a little bit of mobility for the shoulders, right? Now we want to move into our hips. So this is a little test for you guys. I want you to just put your feet under your hips or your shoulders. And I want to see if you guys can comfortably just hang out down here. This is not an active squat position. All right, let's see how you guys look. You probably go a little bit wider. Feels a little bit better, right? So this is a natural human sitting position, right? Or bathroom position. You should be comfortable down here. What most people feel if they struggle are their shins start working really hard because they're kind of falling over backwards. But you should be comfortable down here, all right? So when we're here, we're going to just do a little bit of mobility from this position. So I want you to grab your toes. We're going to stretch our hamstrings out, all right? And we're just going to lift our butt and drop back down, all right? So let's do that 5 times. Just drive up, stretch, and come back down. On your 5th rep, I want you to hold that top position for 10 seconds. Good, now take your hand, grab your opposite ankle, and take your free hand and reach up to the sky and try to rotate your torso. Let's do the same thing. Reach up 5 times, and then hold your last one for 10 seconds. All right, again, try to rotate your hips. Let's do that on each side. So 5 and then hold and then switch sides. Nice guys, so this is just a good stretch, right? You feel your ankles a little bit, your hips, your back. Spending time down here, this is a stretch, okay? When we stand up, it might be a little tough on the knees, so stand up like we did before with your butt first. I do that butt up position and then stand. It's a little bit nicer on the knees. Good, shake your legs out a little bit. How'd that feel? Good? All right, so this is a little bit of squat mobility. Now what we want to do is let's teach you guys the basics of a loaded squat, a weighted squat. So remember yesterday we talked about the hollow body position for gymnastics, where we straighten our spine, okay? And I also mentioned that loading position, right? So when we squat, We want to keep that in mind. That's super important. Let's go over the basic squat. All right? So what we do, heels are shoulder width apart. Toes are barely pointed out, just a little bit. Okay? If I go a little bit wider. Good. So think your heels are right under your shoulders. Okay? Good. When we squat, I'm going to tell you, keep your chest up as one thing to think about. And that's really, again, remember, about keeping your low back tight. All right? So as you squat, you're going to keep your chest up. The movement initiates with the hips, not with the knees. This is a big mistake we see a lot of people make. As they squat, they do this. First. They bend their knees first. We want to see that the hips load first. Okay? This will keep the weight in the heels. So that's another thing I'm going to talk about. Chest up, weight in the heels. The last thing is going to be using our glutes and our hips. I'm going to ask you to chest up, hips back, push your knees out. So look at my knees, right? I'm actively, with my brain, shoving my knees out as hard as I can. I'm using more muscle here and creating a stable hip, okay? As I squat down, the weight stays in my heels. I keep pulling my chest up, and I try to get as deep as I can, keeping all of that in place, okay? Some people might be so tight in their hamstrings or hips that as they go down, they start losing their back, right? So I want you to only go as deep as you can maintain that nice tight position, okay? So let's go slow motion. All right, so right now, pull your chest up, feel your back get tight. Can you feel the weight in your heels? Good, so let's do that 2-inch squat. Push your hips back and just hang out there for a second. Feel the weight in your heels, chest is up. So bend your knees just a little bit. There you go. Now, push your knees out. Good. Now let's squat a little bit deeper. Good, stay there. Knees out, chest up, weight in the heels. Good, a little deeper. Try to get below parallel if you can, meaning get your hips below your knees if you can. Chest up, push your knees out. Good, keep fighting for all those things. Weight in the heels, and stand. Right? The squat is a full body movement. Okay? It's not just lower body, because we're eventually going to hold something over our head. So we need to make sure all of this is stable. Okay? So let's do 9 more squats. Nice and slow. It doesn't have to be that slow. Okay? But just think like this. Keep all those things in mind and stand. Nice and controlled. Okay? Weight in the heels, chest up, pushing your knees out. Right now, the hands can just be out in front of you for balance. Remember, don't think knees first. Think to just rock the hips back a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Good, guys. Pretty good. So 10 total reps. Now we're going to move into an advanced squat. We're going to do that overhead squat. This is the foundation of our movement today. And again, a lot of people, if you have tight shoulders or upper back, might not be able to get all the way down in a squat. So you guys all look pretty good there, but now we're going to bring another part into the equation. So let's pick up our PVC pipe. To find our grip on the bar, you're going to go wide enough so that the bar is right in the crease of your hip. Okay, what I mean by that is if I go too narrow, the bar is resting on my thighs. And if I go too wide, it's in my belly. Right? I want it right here, right in the crease of your hip. Okay, for most people, this is wider than they want to put the bar. Okay? So, just watch real quick. From here, when I put the bar overhead, what I'm going to try to do is create this nice tight shoulder position by rotating my shoulder or pulling it into the socket. Okay? One way you can look at it is that my armpit faces forward versus down. Okay? And I want to try to maintain that position. So I get it overhead, it's nice and locked. Okay? You'll notice my wrist is slightly back. Just watch real quick. All right? When I'm here, all right, everything about the squat maintains the same. Chest up, knees out, weight in the heels. Watch my shoulder. All right? You see not much movement, right? I'm really, really stable here. What we don't want to see is stuff like this. Okay? So what it'll feel like when you do it, when you start your squat, the hips back moment will feel like that dislocate we did before. Remember that? It'll feel like you're pulling your shoulders open. We always want to keep it moving in a straight line. Okay, so what you need to think about, this is 0 weight, right? You can do whatever you want with the bar. You want to keep it perfectly centered over your foot the whole time. Because when we're going to add weight later, you're going to feel that thing over your head. So right now, with 0 weight, you have to actually think a lot more. This is harder than with weight. Okay? So let's put the bar up over our head. All right? First, let's see if we can figure out where center is, right? Don't go too far back. All right? Find that nice tight position. Yeah, so don't think shrug, but pull it in, and from that position, you can kind of push up. Okay? That's better. Good. Lock your elbows nice and tight. Imagine this thing has some weight.
Won't be going too far back.
Good. Belly tight. Don't arch your back. Good. You can flex your wrist just a little bit. So it's kind of like this. Yeah. There you go. Good. Now, it's just a PVC pipe, but it's going to start to feel heavy. Okay? Put your feet in squat stance. Good. So we're going to do that 2-inch squat. So from here, remember, weights in the heels, chest is up, hips back, bar back, just a couple inches, and just sit down here for a sec. Push your knees out. Good. Squat a little deeper. Good. Keep pulling that bar back. Good. Squat a little deeper. See if you can get below parallel. Push your knees out. Fight for your chest up. Yeah, don't collapse. Push it. Yeah, there you go. Good. And stand. Good. Bring the bar down for a sec. Okay, so there's a lot to think about. You need to know where this is, and you have to fight for all the body position, okay? So let's do 9 more reps, nice and slow. If you can't get below parallel with good position, all right, just fight for where you can go, okay? Do 9 more reps. Good. Weight stays in the heels. Good. There you go. Keep that belly tight. Good, guys. You can pull the bar back just a little bit more as you come down, right as you come down. There you go. You feel the tension there? That's good. Okay, so that's coming forward a little bit, right? So remember, right as you squat, pull that back. You'll feel that your shoulders get really, you feel the difference? There you go. You have tight ankles, this is your problem. Yeah, it's an ankle thing, right? Good, guys. So, that's the foundation. So you guys all look pretty good, right? For some people, they can't squat all the way, and they're just sitting right here, just kind of working on it, okay? But you guys look pretty good. The last thing I'm going to do just to introduce you to, before we get to the snatch, is something called a good morning. So let's take the bar and put it on your back, just like this. Perfect. Okay? So, I'm going to reference this position a couple times today. So, the good morning is about loading our hamstrings and our glutes, what we call our posterior chain. So from here, chest up, right, meaning our back stays tight, and we go soft knees and shove the hips back as far as you can, maintaining that tight back, and then stand. Okay, do you feel your hamstrings get stretched out? So we can do this movement with weight, okay? So Nick, keep your chest pulled up. There you go. Do 9 more reps, just like that. Chest up, hips back. Weight stays in the heels. So try to keep your low back tighter. All right, so pull your chest up. There you go. Feel the difference? There you go. Again, if you got tight hamstrings, this might be a little different range of motion depending on how flexible you are. So think your hips go back. There you go. As you keep going down, keep pushing them back, 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 back. Pull your chest up. Good, right there. That's it. Feel the difference? No, don't just bend over here, right? Chest up, wall, the hips go back. This is about learning to load our hamstrings, okay? Again, we'll bring this up here when we teach the snatch. Good, just 10 reps total. All right, you guys feel good? Ready to do this thing? All right, so